understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, November 24th, 2018. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And you may have been gathered in the warm bosom of your family, friends, loved ones, or just that turkey carcass that you cooked this week, but we still had 6 episodes. Six episodes.
6 episodes. Yeah, and some of us were planning weddings at the time.
So how Ed, you're a marrying man now. How did that go?
Yes. It was very fun. We were outside in 35-degree weather, and the bride had no jacket, so it was very brisk, but it was beautiful. We ran back into the venue for booze and food. It was a lot of fun.
That's how the best weddings end. Running back into the venue for booze and food.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I left my pants at the hotel at one point, but the day was saved.
That's how you know it was a good party. Oh wait, this was before the party, not after the party.
Yes, this was before the party. Yes. They had a holding area. So all day we were at the venue, and there was a holding area where, as the photographers were running around taking pictures and everything else, and we were prepping, but most of that stuff was upstairs with the bridesmaids. So I was with the groomsmen downstairs, and we were just watching Thor Ragnarok on Netflix and playing Madden 2015. And I think there was like an air shuffleboard court, and an open bar. So, everything you could want out of a Wednesday afternoon.
That's the most guy thing you've ever said.
So yeah. My brother's married now. And I'm gonna hopefully meet them for them and my sister and her husband for lunch today as soon as we finish recording this podcast.
And I am doing second Thanksgiving. My husband and I did solo. I said on the day everybody else in my family was busy, so I said, hey, you want to see what friends we've got in the area are doing something? No, let's just be at home. Let's just eat until we are greasy. Just the 2 of us. So that's what we did. So now we're doing family today. So yeah, we both have stuff to do. So let's do some DC. Not that we like to start the day with this. We like to start things off recording, and it puts everything in the right frame of mind. Yeah, you can. Oh, by the way, hey, it's Thanksgiving week, and I'm thankful for you. Thanks for doing this with me.
Thanks. I'm thankful for you and this podcast and all of our listeners.
Oh, of course, the listeners.
Yes, who sent us plenty of tweets this week that we're all going to get to as we go through the episodes. And we have 6 to get through and some news to boot. So you ready to get started?
Let's rock and roll.
All right, here we go. So first up is Supergirl, Season 4, Episode 6, Call to Action. It was Thanksgiving! After helping Supergirl save an alien couple from the Children of Liberty, Manchester Black kidnapped Officer Petrocelli and tortured him for information. James blew off a TV interview Lena booked for him to meet with members of the Children of Liberty. Kara took James' place on Counterpoint and had an embarrassing debate with Ben Lockwood. Against Colonel Haley's orders, Alex and Brainy looked at Agent Liberty's manifesto for clues on how he might be planning to attack innocent aliens. Lena and Miss Tessmacher continued their work trying to treat cancerous heart tumors. Last-minute reveal, Petrocelli told Manchester he takes orders from Coldwell.
Well, this was not a very happy Thanksgiving episode.
This was busy, busy, busy. A lot of stuff going on here.
Yes. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Lena and Miss Tessmacher.
Okay, so that heart did not burn.
No, it didn't. So I'm just refresh my memory quick. Is Lena sick? Like, what were they trying to experiment on?
I think they were using the Harinel, the black kryptonite from last season, just to see what it could do. And so I don't think she is sick. As far as I know, I've never heard her say, like, Uncle Joe needs...
Okay.
She's just trying to help humanity.
Okay, because it's been a while since we went to this plot line. And I was just trying to remember exactly where we are.
Nobody has secret cancer. No.
So yeah.
No, I think she's just. I mean, she's trying to make a difference in humanity, and she's trying to make money for Elcorp.
Mm-hmm.
No shame.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that looks like it's working. Now we're going to have to see how it turns into an evil plan. Because that's what...
Which it will. Well, and I don't know if you saw the speculation, but there were some folks who talked about, is it the Everyman Project?
Oh, okay.
That might be ushering in something from the comics that is a Luthor thing here, and it's basically trying to level up humans, and that is such an interesting debate to me because, and if we want to, I guess this is jumping ahead into the Thanksgiving dinner when they had the political debate that probably everybody who had Thanksgiving dinner wanted to avoid with their own families. Oh God, not politics, please. No, I just don't want to. But that's what the Supergirl Thanksgiving dinner was all about, was a big debate about aliens versus humans. And I don't know, Lena has an interesting point that, aliens did come and kind of wreck some things for some people, and humans are kind of soft, weak, defenseless things, and maybe a leveling the playing field. It's what is making this season so good and so interesting, because all the sides of the debate, even if some of them are a little more wrong than others, or a lot more wrong than others, there's still a kernel of, that makes sense.
Yeah. And
that's one of them.
Yeah, and that's, that's always the hard thing, is no one else is listening to each other's facts. And it's I do like that there's a balance here that they're striking. And that, in a sense, where nobody's right, but everyone has a point. And I like that exploration. I thought that was the most awkward Thanksgiving dinner I've seen on a superhero show so far. That I can remember. And it's the kind of thing where it was an argument, it was a spirited discussion, but it wasn't anything like personal family problems that was getting in the way.
And I didn't think, other than James and Lena, I didn't think that anybody left with truly singed feelings necessarily. I'm hoping that Alex pointing out to Lena who gets to decide what humans get, that, who gets to play God like that. I'm hoping that gave Lena something to think about, but I'm also hoping Lena's perspective gave Kara something to think about too. That aliens bring great skills and opportunities, but also there are people who have suffered from that. So anyway, it's I enjoyed that.
Now,
let's see.
Should James be fired?
Oh God. Just like everybody was a little bit right, a little bit wrong. James was a bad employee. On the other hand, Lena did not give him much notice about booking him a major TV appearance. And that's the kind of thing where, you want to get a good night's sleep the night before. You want to cut out like carbs and dairy a couple days before so you're not puffy.
Mhm.
You want to make sure, you're coiffed or your head is shined up or whatever it is that you do to get ready. You don't just walk in and say, here's a new seat, you're on the air in 10 minutes, which is kind of what she did, which was not cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but no, James is absolutely insubordinate there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And also, no one should have let Kara go near that set. Like she,
Oh God, no.
I think that was the real travesty. Is not even that James didn't show, but like why would you let Kara go on? Like it's just bad PR. I mean, it's not like she had TV experience, and there was no way that especially if James didn't feel that he was prepped, there's no way as much as Neo is trying to help, wouldn't have been able to get Kara ready to go for that. It's just ugh.
And if I may, there is something about journalistic transparency where Kara arguing in favor of aliens without being publicly on the record as an alien, there's something a little, I don't know, hinky about that. Like, if I found out after the fact, oh, wait, she was an alien? Well, that seems like she was making those arguments in bad faith, because she wasn't telling us who she was. So it wasn't good top to bottom. The only good that came out of that is Nia gives an amazing pep talk.
Yes.
Naya. God, I need to. That's one of those names that I never know how to pronounce. Naya. No. Amazing pep talk. Like, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and your hair looks incredible. I could use that every morning. Yeah. And are we ready for her and Brainy to have the most awkward nerd relationship you'll ever see on TV? Kinda, yeah. That's I like how they're peeling that back layer by layer. That's fun. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. Brainy, I've been really warming up to his character over the last few weeks. I have said it before, and I can't remember if I said it on the podcast or in my recaps at ew.com. Check those out. Yeah. But they give the perfect amount of him every week. It's just enough Brainy. I think any more and he might be too much, any less, and I'd be like, can we have a little more Brainy? Perfect amounts of Brainy every week. Yes. If we get an episode that focuses a little bit more on him, that would be cool. I think the show learned from the male character who ate the plot. And I, of course, am talking about Manel, who I enjoyed, but it really did become sort of like the Manel show. And they're not doing that with Brainy, and I really appreciate that. It's a good amount. But we got to see him fight this week. Yes. Yeah. And that was a great showdown. Yeah, and his different style, where it's almost like it's like a Matrix kind of thing, where he's slowly moving out of everybody's way, and letting them just beat themselves up. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, that was, and it was again perfectly Brainy. I mean, it matched everything we've seen about him so far, and he likes pumpkin pie, which actually is the first strike I've seen against him. I like pumpkin pie. It is only useful as a carrier for whipped cream. I will die on this hill. Okay. Let's see what else. I did enjoy at Thanksgiving dinner the way everybody sort of brought their own clues and they were able to assemble them all and figure out what was going on. So, you mentioned earlier about listening to each other. They started listening to each other at dinner. And that I loved that if we all come together and listen, we can work together to stop Crystal Knocked, which for the record, I realize I said people were kind of right and kind of wrong. Crystal Knocked is wrong. Just so everybody knows, I'm not saying any part of that was right. Yes. That was all wrong. Yes. So, just so we're clear. Yes. And now Ben Lockwood's getting a TV show. No. He's so good. Serial Blower is so good, and this character is so good and so scary. And he's going to be devastatingly effective on that show because, Kara was fine, but oh man, he ran circles around her and it's just going to. Yeah. Ooh. And Manchester Black was Manchester Black in that you're going, he's a good guy, right? Right? Is he? Oh no! Oh. What are you doing with that gun? Oh no! That's a lot of masks he collected. Yeah. Lot to think about. It'd be interesting to see who Coldwell is, and how Manchester handles him. And this is moving along. This season's moving along.
It's at a good pace, and it's interested to see where it goes next.
Most importantly, if James and Lena break up, are you ever going to recover?
Ooh, I think I can manage.
Oh, Ed, I can't. Yeah, same. I can't believe we almost said goodbye to this without a quick mention to the best part of the episode, which is the dragon. I was not expecting a dragon named Spike. I was not expecting an aerial dragon fight. I was not expecting a Song of Ice and Fire to play out in Supergirl's Thanksgiving episode. I am grateful as hell for all of it because that was amazing. And honestly, Kara petting his snout and saying you were good and you were loyal and everybody's safe. It was really good. I really liked it.
Yes, it was. I agree on all counts. News for Supergirl.
Okay, Kevin Smith is directing an episode coming up. We have talked about this a little bit, and he has said his episode will be a little scary. He compared it to Jacob's Ladder or The Omen, which that is not Supergirl's usual tone. Even when they had the witches and things last season, it was never really scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. And it says it's gonna possibly involve dreams. So what is the character who's having dreams who's gonna maybe turn into a superhero related to dreams? I don't know that that's the connection, but come on. And the other little bit of news, it's really the only crossover news we have this week for the CW Arrowverse crossover, but we did get a crossover teaser involving Supergirl.
Okay.
On Flash and Arrow, you've got those two fellas changing lives. And then Supergirl, it looks like she is locked up in some sort of DEO facility and begging with Alex, we're sisters, we love each other, let me out. And Alex doesn't know her and also has really uncomfortably long hair.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I am excited for this crossover. Yeah. Get here already.
Yeah, let's do this. All right. You ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Arrow, Season 7, Episode 6, Due Process. In the future, William and company uncovered a seemingly evil plan by the maybe-dead Felicity to level Star City. In the present, Oliver's friend Stanley was put in the hole after being accused of murdering a guard. Laurel tried making an appeal to get Oliver released, even though she is not a lawyer! All of Team Arrow reformed again and worked with Anatoly to draw out Diaz. Last-minute reveal. After getting out of the hole, Stanley gave away to Oliver that he knew more about Dunbar's death than he let on.
So, she's not a lawyer.
No, she's not.
She lost her appeal because you know why? Not a lawyer. No. Even a little bit.
First off, none of that made sense. So,
Nope.
He snuck out information while helping an inmate escape. That showed that everyone at this prison is doing a horrible job. So obviously, we should let him out. Like,
honestly, this show is almost washing over me like white noise at this point. Because it's so lather, rinse, repeat. Okay, here's my take. Oh, you didn't like last season when it was A team versus B team? Wait until you catch this season where nobody works together, nobody communicates, and everybody fights all the time. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, so just some tweets that have already gone out. At Bauer Fett, oh no, I can hear Ed screaming Laurel is not a lawyer from here. Also,
and he's pretty far away from you geographically,
yes,
so that's
yeah. At D Michelle writes, the pillow fight prison riot Sarah teased is Arrow 707.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and Aunt Betty Taylor tweets, I know Arrow is moving slow, but I hope Oliver's out by 7-8.
I hope so too. I'm trying to think what kind of timing we might expect in relation to the crossover. Do we think he'll be out before the crossover?
I would hope so. Yeah, he should be out by the crossover. Like
I would hope so too. And so that would be 7-8 would feel right, because 7-7 is this week, 7-8 is next week, and then the crossover, and then winter break.
Yeah, I feel like he should be getting out this week. Because evidently, you know, Laurel did finagle something to get a deal. We'll see how that works. Like she's got to get exposed at some point. Like this is getting ridiculous.
And you know, they're writing her like an actual person and not just a leather-clad sneering supervillain, which I guess is good. And she and Dinah have some interesting scenes together. I mean, what they're doing, they're trying, and I give them credit for that. I'm just not enjoying it. I'm sorry. And also, Felicity's not dead. Come on, don't try to, like, this needs to drop, because that's not, no.
Yeah. But we did see like two of the main factions kind of come together today, this week. You know, where Felicity got Renee and Dinah to kind of hook up with Diggle, as they were following Anatoly's leads. You know, so I think we're slowly getting back to where we were before the season started.
Yay.
Yeah. I thought it was nice to see Anatoly back.
He's always fun. I liked him a lot. It reminded me of how much I enjoyed, what was that, season 5? When we explored the Broadfell. I thought season 5 was pretty fun, actually. I like the Anatoly and Laurel and sort of that Felicity kind of being like old Oliver. I don't know, that whole vibe was kind of cool. I also liked Anatoly saying, "Vodka, why do you assume it's vodka?" Yeah, no, it's totally vodka here. And I will say, even though I'm frustrated that Felicity has to keep begging people to help her, please, guys, please help me get Oliver out of prison. Please, remember Oliver, your friend Oliver, remember? I do like that everybody now is dragging Laurel for not being a lawyer. It's not just us, it's every character, and I do enjoy that. So the show has heard our pleas in that scenario, I guess.
Yeah, I think it must just be that the legal system in Star City is so screwed up.
I mean, I have had my complaints about the legal system in Star City in the past, so you're not wrong. But
yeah, I think they are so hungry for civil servants at this point.
Our civil servants are all dead or corrupt. Please, would you just can you hold a book in your hands? You can be a lawyer. Thank you. Be the DA.
Yeah.
Let's see. I still think New Green Arrow is a woman.
Okay.
I'm going with that. I'm saying woman.
Mm-hmm. So Amiko Queen, Amiko is still a possibility. We're throwing it, you know, that was a theory that's been thrown around a lot. So definitely, let's talk about our flash forwards, with William and Roy and Dinah and Sophie. Do you think Felicity wants them to level the city? Is that the plan that's going here, or was she uncovering someone else's plot? Like, what's the deal?
Honestly, I will say, until this season, I would have thought she was uncovering somebody else's plot, but this season has shown kind of a new side to Felicity. So, and that's not fair. She has made hard choices in the past, and if she felt like the city needed to be leveled, she would have done that and made that call. So, hard to say. To say.
I mean, wasn't that Malcolm Merlin's plan in season 1?
And wasn't he the big bad guy that season? Wasn't that?
Yes, he was. Yeah, they were trying to stop him from leveling the glades.
Yeah. Well, maybe because it's not just the glade. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the city has kind of deteriorated in the last couple decades. So in the flash forwards.
Okay.
But I do. Right. I mean, I do kind of like the team vibe. I feel like it's it's been kind of insulated what we've seen. I'd like to see a little more of the city itself. And I don't know if that is a matter of budget, because it takes a lot to stage that. But I feel like they're always inside big dark rooms talking. And I'd like to see more of the broader Star City of the future.
Yeah, I feel like the timeline, I feel like in the last 3 episodes, we've moved forward like an hour on that storyline in real time.
I feel like that with the real time current events as well, honestly. So, also, how many times did we have a chance to murder Dragon and we didn't murder Dragon? Usually I'm not about rooting to murder people, but like, somebody please murder Dragon. Please.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I can't believe he's still the big bad.
I know. You know what? No, I say it's going to be Stanley. Stanley's a plant. He's a plant. I think Diaz gets murdered, and it turns out it's Stanley all along, and that will be amazing. And I will drink my vodka in celebration of Arrow when that happens.
Oh wow! All right. Moving on to Legends.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. Is there?
No,
is there?
There was no news. There's nothing else. Let's do it.
All right. So, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 5, Tagumo Attacks. The Legends traveled to Tokyo, 1951, to look into reports of an underwater monster. Ray brought Nora Dark to the Wave Rider to try and save the dying Constantine. Nate and Ava tried to survive Thanksgiving at the Haywoods, while Gary's impromptu meal with Mona at the Time Bureau got interrupted by magical creatures. Last-minute reveal: Henry stepped away from turkey carving to call and declare Project Hades a go.
Yet again, this is delightful. This show is delightful. Thank you for being in my life, show. I don't even know what to start with because every part of this was so much fun. I don't know, Ed. What do you want to talk about first?
Oh man. First off, we got to see a kaiju.
Yeah, we did.
And the birth of a kaiju, and Mick going through writer's block.
We've all been there, Mick.
The fact that he uses an old-fashioned typewriter, I think, is adorable. And and I think actually one of our tweets put this best, which was which was at Bauer Fett, who was talking with at Deke273. Mick has to be the winner of the week for showing restraint with only 3 breasts.
I mean, he did want to go 4, but 3 was plenty.
Yes.
I was so proud of Mick because it is hard to show your work to the world. I mean, it is. And especially somebody like him who's a tough guy, and there's kind of an emotional vulnerability to writing like that. And I don't know, I was really proud of him. That was I really liked that. He saved the day. And then, he and his creation boned in a model city. Like it was a good week for Mick.
Yeah, that was a little intense. That was
speaking of no, go ahead.
I was not ready for that.
You can never be ready for that. Speaking of the model city, I thought the look at 50s filmmaking was very cool. I'm assuming that was pretty accurate to how they did things. That seemed like a loving little homage to, monster movies with practical effects when they did them like that. So that was a lot of fun. I also think Sarah Lance was built for the 50s. Like she looks the best in 50s getup. That's all.
Yeah. That's also, wasn't she? Didn't she spend some time on Mad Men before she?
She did, but like 70s Mad Men. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is the least good Mad Men, I think.
Well, from a fashion standpoint.
Thank you. From a fashion standpoint. Let's see what.
Yeah, and that was Ishiro Hondo, who did direct the first Godzilla movie.
And gosh, for as much as this was a romp and I enjoyed it, you bring up Hiroshima and it's just like, yeah. That was the one. I mean, my notes just say, "Oh God, Hiroshima." Like, yeah, I'm glad they referenced that, and that obviously is where that came from. And
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we both saw Crimes of Grindelwald, so we were just talking about this off camera before we.
Now at Bower Fett, did have an interesting ship here. He's claiming that Zari and Mick will be the next relationship. Though after this week, I'm scared of his fantasies.
I don't necessarily see that, but if the show wants to go there, you know what? I will follow it to the gates of hell. So, do what you will, show.
I just think Zari is really good at having male friends.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think she has chemistry with everybody. I feel like there's not a single person on that ship that she hasn't buddied up to in a way that I was like, I love this. I think she's just a great character. I also feel like, I don't know, they would be they're probably the most odd couple on that ship, because I feel like she would always want to break him in half, not in a sexy way, like in a, I cannot with you. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, and a bit of a transition here, but at D273, added on top of that, let's not forget Gary and the Taco Girl.
Aw, yeah, they're cute.
Isn't that the cutest thing? Gary
it really
and Mona.
Is. It is. Nerd love, early nerd love. And I love that Mona contributed. She knew exactly what to feed everybody, and she took care of it, and she's fun. We reported on her casting over the summer, and I wasn't sure. I was a little worried because I felt like the Wave Rider was getting so crowded. This completely resolved my concerns about that. We've got stuff happening at the Time Bureau that I think is interesting and fun, and Nate and Ava are a great duo. That Thanksgiving scene was fantastic. This show works for me on every single level. Yeah.
Although I want to know why Mona was delivering food, was delivering takeout instead of maybe working at a zoo.
Why? Don't you need credentials? Well, I guess she could be concessions at the zoo. I mean, if you're doing food,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems she came so naturally to it that you'd think like maybe she'd worked with animals before.
I think when we did the casting, it said that she was a big fan of YA fantasy, and so I think it comes from extensive fiction reading.
Ah, okay.
And I don't know that that's been revealed in show yet, but that was my sense.
Yeah, you kind of got that vibe that's why, because she reads Twilight, that's how she was able to handle.
I feel like her reading choices were more sophisticated than Twilight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I loved the monster makeup in this episode. I thought that was really well done. And the fact that they used practical effects instead of just slapping CGI over everything. I thought that was more effective. Now let's talk about Nate and Ava at the Haywoods Thanksgiving.
That was so fun.
And first off, Chris and Tyson are little monsters. Like, those kids need to be stopped.
Yeah, lock them in the basement. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Those kids are trouble.
In fact, maybe a future episode would be the Wave Rider having to deal with them 20 years from now.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that Ava got pulled in along with Nate. I don't know. A lot of this seemed a little convenient. And I don't know. It's funny because, like, we talked about how Supergirl's Thanksgiving scenes had kind of like a warmer kind of atmosphere to them, and these just seemed not boring but very dry. Do you know what I mean?
In some ways, I think it felt. I mean, Ava was there with strangers, and it felt like family members that see each other a couple times a year, but that don't really like each other. So I guess to me, it kind of felt more like Thanksgiving with my in-laws that I've spent in the past, and I can only say that because none of them listen to this. But kind of more true to life. Like it felt, which I realize what I'm saying about what show I'm saying that about. But it felt a little bit more like this is this uncle says things that you don't really want to talk to him about, and these kids are terrible, and sister doesn't care, and just give me the wine, just keep the wine flowing. Like I've been there, so
yeah, and this seemed like the kind of family who didn't cook their own turkey. Like they had that stuff catered.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right.
But I did think standing over the kitchen island to say what you're thankful for was kind of weird. Like it was a weird transitional. Everybody just kind of standing around in the kitchen, sit at a table. That was very strange.
Yeah, that had to be something to do with sets. That had to be something to do with we've got this. We only have the dining room for 10 minutes. We're not going to be able to do it enough there.
But I did. You know what? I did like the. Ed, I like Nate this season. What am I even saying? I don't understand myself. Right? But he learned something about his dad. He tried to handle things at the Time Bureau himself. I like Nate. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, he's getting a good arc. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yawning. I apologize.
I'm sorry I'm boring you. I'll do better.
No, that's not true.
If I can quote Gary, you are so fired.
Do you wish we'd spent more? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I have a note here in all caps that I do feel like I need to get to. We left the Mick stuff before I did. That semicolon should have been a colon. We saw him drafting his triumphant end of his novel, and he totally used a semicolon where he needed a colon. This was all caps material in my notes. I'm sorry. You go.
No, I was about to move on to Nora and Ray. Do you wish we'd spent more time at the Ren Fair?
Kind of, yeah. Okay, these two are married in real life. How do they still have that crazy chemistry? How? That's not... It's because she's married to Brandon Routh. A lucky bitch. Yeah, I would have been kind of fun to watch her... Because, it felt like she's trying to make it work at the Ren Fair, and that would be hard for somebody like her. It would have been kind of fun to watch her swallow that indignity and do it. That feels like kind of a terrible thing to say about another person, but it would have been fun to watch her wade through that. But I also enjoyed watching her own her magic and make it work and save Constantine. And this, boy, we say this every week, but this was a busy episode. A lot happened. But I liked it a lot. I was surprised that she gave herself up, but it keeps them in her orbit, hopefully. So that was cool.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I thought the moments that she had with Constantine was really good, and immediately they're moving her character along, and we see kind of like the challenge that she's going to go through this season.
Yeah, this to me, this feels like more of a redemption arc. We see it. She ran, she tried to lay low, she ate a lot of crow at the Ren Fair with gross dudes, and now she's turning herself in. When you look at the Black Siren redemption arc over on Arrow, what is the arc there? She's a lawyer now, and this feels like much more of an arc. I don't know. I'm very pleased, and I'm excited to see where they go with her character.
Yeah.
Also, is Nate's dad evil?
I think he's just an opportunist. I think it's just like, hey, he's got his fingers in a lot of pies, and they have this Project Hades that they're working on, and that they're trying to go through every government agency to find the tech that can bring it in, and he's finally found something, and it's the Time Bureau. So yeah, we're gonna see where that goes. But I think the real takeaway from this episode is that lizards are king.
And 3 breasts is plenty.
Yes, 3 breasts are plenty. All right. Was there any news for Legends this week?
Just that we have a title for episode 12, and it is, are you ready? The Eggplant, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that is indicated via emoji. So, the eggplant. And then if you got Nora the Witch, oh, please be about Nora and Ray. Please be about Nora and Ray. Please.
Ooh.
So,
all right.
That's what we got.
All right. Next up, The Flash. Season 5, Episode 6, The Icicle Cometh. After murdering a meta who could turn her arms into razors, Cicada began wandering around Central City, oozing blood from his side. Nora and Iris tried squeezing in some quality time while helping Sherlock look for the core of the satellite that gave Cicada his power. An anxious Cecile helped Ralph lean on FEMA for survivor records. Barry and Cisco helped Caitlin find her father, who was alive but hiding secrets about his medical condition. Last minute reveal, Cicada claimed that his wounds were now making him stronger.
Well, I don't like where that's going with Cicada. No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
No. No. I feel like we didn't have a lot of Barry this episode. This was kind of
my notes actually are, was Barry even in this episode? Where was he? Legitimately, was he filming something else? Is this because of the crossover? I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean he decided to help Caitlin even though he hadn't really been part of that storyline yet. It seemed a little weird, and also you had everyone else running around doing all these other things when the main story is really Caitlin and her father. Although I liked that story, I liked that Cisco is suspicious from the outset, and I thought that developed nicely, and I also love the idea that he has his own alter ego, and that's the person who's really in control right now. And we got Killer Frost back. Finally,
we got Killer Frost back, and it looks like Killer Frost and Caitlin are going to be able to coexist and talk to each other and be in the same space at the same time, which is really exciting. Even if Caitlin has to wear that dumb thing on her forehead.
Definitely. Now let's talk about Cecile, who seemed really eager to get out of the house.
Do you blame her? Okay, first of all, let's just start this with Joe went to the store for milk. Okay, he's at the store getting milk. He ran out for cigarettes. He'll be back. Poor Jesse L. Martin. Get better soon. Take your time.
Sure. He's still out for scratchers. He'll be back any day now.
So just like I am shocked at how much I like Nate this season on Legends of Tomorrow, I'm loving Cecile this season. I did not care for a lot of her stuff last season, but she was great. She made a Bagger Vance joke. I wasn't expecting that, but I appreciated it. She is the Deanna Troi of Team Flash, like Cecile.
Yeah, and already she's using her powers much more effectively than Deanna Troi ever did on Next Generation.
You dare disrespect the Queen Deanna Troi.
Hey, I love Marina Sirtis. I love that character. But those writers could never figure out how to use her properly.
I sense so much hostility from them. Thank you. They have guns and they're holding them at my head. I appreciate that insight.
Yeah, and I feel like every time the Enterprise encountered something that Deanna would really be helpful for, somehow she was not in that episode. Like,
listen, she got to marry Riker, and for that, she will always kind of be goals. So,
yes. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Now I have a question. So they leaned on this FEMA guy, who's the only guy at this place.
Yes.
To get all of these records. Like, are they violating HIPAA laws? I feel like this shouldn't be that easy.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I wasn't sure about I don't know if ethics is the right word, because they're trying, they're doing it for the greater good, but
yeah, don't say greater good.
Yeah,
I just saw Grindelwald last week.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say greater good is not a good excuse for that. As I was saying it, I was like, oh, yeah, it was kind of weird that she actually is the DA and she actually could issue, like a subpoena ducis tecum, which is a subpoena for documents, and get that stuff if she had a legitimate need for it. So to do the underhanded thing, although I enjoyed watching her get her mojo back, was a little, I don't know. But she and Ralph are fun together. Yeah. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun dynamic. Speaking of weird dynamics, couldn't Nora and Iris find a better way to have quality time together?
Nope. This is the quality time they deserve.
You've had enough of them?
I mean, I'm glad that they're getting along better. That would have been miserable if they had kept that dynamic they had before up all season long. But yeah, that is kind of a strange, like, get mani petties. Watch, it's Hallmark Christmas movie season. Get on the couch with someone.
Although I will applaud Sherlock for finding a way to make that work for him.
That's true. That's true. So Sherlock is still around. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we'd heard that was going to be the Harrison Wells this season, so...
I still didn't believe it. I really thought he was going to be a one and done, and then we'd get the real Harrison Wells, but no, we're sticking with Sherlock.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if it keeps Tom Cavanaugh around,
that's true. I'll put up with a lot for Tom Cavanaugh. Oh, by the way, did you catch the passing reference to one of your favorite Batman characters? I assume you did.
Oh yes, yeah. Icicle mentioned that Victor Fries and Harrison Wells were working together and had given him the uplink to the Star Labs video streaming.
I figured you would have needed to pause and collect yourself because they, mentioned Heart of Ice, just even tangentially.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was cool. Yeah. There's a Victor Fries in this world, and I wonder if maybe we'll meet him on Batwoman.
Well, I think we're gonna meet his wife on the crossover. So.
Ooh, yes. Okay. So yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, that was really cool. And Thomas Snow, I thought he did a really good job playing the hard luck dad. This is something you find a lot in these types of shows, where a character will all of a sudden find their parent and get really close to them and realize, like, oh no, that's not their parent. That's just a really convincing villain.
Oh yeah, this for sure was a curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal storyline. Like, obviously this wasn't gonna be a happy reunion forever. I thought it might have lasted like a couple episodes as opposed to just an episode, as his betrayal, deceit, whatever was uncovered. But like everything with Caitlin, it was kind of rushed, but they gave it to us, so thanks. And I will say, as soon as they announced his casting, I knew this was how it was going to go down, because he just plays a cold, hard person. So I was surprised, actually, that he played the down on his luck dad as well as he did, because I think of him as cold, calculating, scheming. It never occurred to me that he'd be anything but the bad guy when they announced him. And this is coming because he was on Veronica Mars, and he was such a cold bad guy in that. So that's my own prejudices toward that actor coming through. But yeah.
All right. And Iris had figured out a way to trace that shrapnel to little Grace Gibbons. So do you think Team Flash is going to meet Orland Gibbons next week?
I actually can confirm if we're ready to move into the news.
Sure.
The November 27th episode is "O Come All Ye Faithful," and not only are we going to get Cicada's backstory, but we're going to meet Weather Witch, played by Raina Hardesty. So we're getting a new character, and they're saying it's going to be not like the Thinker's backstory. It's going to be a little bit different than that, but we are going to learn Cicada's backstory. So yeah, that is coming. So thank you, Iris, for the investigative work. We are going to find out what makes Cicada rattle. I guess.
Cool.
And as opposed
All
to tick,
right.
that's the jokes.
Okay. Anything else for the Flash?
Just December 4th is the 100th episode, what's past is prologue, and Tom Cavanaugh is directing that. So that's coming up soon.
Yay! All right. Next up, Black Lightning. Season 2, Episode 6, The Book of Blood, Chapter 2, The Purdy. While being tracked by Jefferson and the very alive Gamby, Anissa tracked Anaya to a farm in East Freeland and stumbled upon a meta-powered race war. Lynn was driven to drink after having to announce that half of the pod children were dead. Khalil was conflicted after Tobias ordered him to kill Reverend Holt. Last-minute reveal, after examining one of Anaya's twins, Looker demanded her Sanjay find the other baby.
Well, this upped the narrative quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
The backstory and the mythology really, really increased in this episode.
Yeah, I feel like this is I never watched Lost, but I feel like this is like when they met the others.
Okay.
Like this I feel like there's a whole other piece of this world that we're just finding out about. Like this is when they found the governor's village in Walking Dead. Like there's a whole other scope to this story that we haven't even thought about before.
I am super stuck on you never watched Lost. What?
I was a junior in high school and I missed the pilot. And there was no,
There's
on
no
demand
streaming.
wasn't.
Sure.
Yeah. So I just never had the time to go back.
My silence here is, as frustrated as I was with Lost, I feel like it's worth the trip through if you ever get a time off the DC shows.
Yeah.
But
all I know is I know the trope is that like the first 2 seasons were really good and the third season it was just trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, kind of, but the first 2 seasons were really good. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I experienced the same thing with Heroes, although there was only one really good season.
Yeah, and this Lost is so much for Heroes. For me, this felt a little bit like weird Justified. We go all of a sudden to this rural setting, and it felt like Superpower Justified. I'm waiting for Timothy Oliphant to come swaggering through with his guns. I would approve of that wholeheartedly. But I liked it. I you're so used to that sort of city setting for East Freeland, and then all of a sudden you have this sort of backwoods country. I just wasn't prepared for it, but it was very cool, and of course, very cool coded. Not even coded, very obvious and on the page, race relations with the white woman controlling, a cadre of white people to do bad things to the minority population. So that's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to them developing that. And she has the best jewelry since Lady Eve, like that chunky jewelry.
Yeah. That blue dress. Yeah, no. Were you kind of a little disappointed that they didn't even pretend Gamby was dead?
Yeah,
like it just immediately.
They really did such nice mourning. I mean, they really had the Pierce family going through grief, and I think playing that out another week or two would have been nice, and then surprise Gamby. So that was a little bit of an undercutting of, I thought, some of the nice emotional beats from the previous episode. He was also sleeveless a lot, and that was a weird choice. Like a lot of sleeveless t-shirts.
Oh, poor James Remar. The stuff they put him through. He brought out the drones to help Anissa and Jefferson, but I feel like we didn't need him in this episode.
No, same.
Like
they really could have waited. You could have had the drones come out of nowhere, and where did they come from? And then later on, you find out, oh, Gamby is the drone master. That would have been cool. Just a suggestion, Joe, for later.
Yeah. Oh, all right. What else is going on? Oh, Khalil.
Yeah. Oh, Jennifer, girl, you can't change him. don't. I know he's like the wounded bad boy, but you're not going to be able to change him. So don't get sucked down with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought that fight he had with Tobias was really well done. And kind of shocked that Tobias didn't realize that he cracked that fish tank.
Those poor fish.
Yeah. I was almost wondering if they were going to be like piranhas and they were still going to be like biting at Khalil.
That would be a very Tobias Whale thing.
Yeah. But yeah, and he's not telling anyone what his plan is. Everyone is confused. But evidently he wants that medical center for some reason. And Reverend Holt. Oh man. Yeah. That guy's had a season.
Poor man.
Yeah, he should take a vacation.
I was going to say, I do think he should get out of town. I think he should just pack up some things, get out of town. Yeah. Go visit your niece up north. Like, there's got to be something. There's got to be. He's got to have family out of town. There's got to be something he could do. Go to the islands, take a cruise. You could take a load off. There's been enough craziness going around. You deserve it, man. But yeah, and Lynn, I feel like they kind of like abandoned Lynn's storyline like halfway through the episode. But something terrible happened. She feels terrible about it, and they just didn't want to dwell. So
yeah, well, I mean, I think when you find yourself on the bathroom floor vomiting and crying, it's really, and evidently they decided they weren't going to have her cheer up by the end of the episode. There's really not much more you could go with it.
Yeah, they could have, I guess, shot back to her like curled up next to the toilet, passed out. But that's too dark even for Black Lightning. So. Yeah. And the moment when that dad was like trying to pound on the car door to get her, that was scary. That was genuinely frightening. Yeah. And yet understand, like, you get it. I understand the desperation of the parents. That was awful. That was, all of it was hard to watch.
Yeah, but like, you rear-ended her, bro. Like, ask if she's okay.
Nah.
Oh man. So yeah. And this was like 3 distinct storylines and very different things going on. I guess we'll have to see how they pull them together.
And they will. They will.
Mm-hmm. All right. Was there anything more you wanted to talk about?
No, and there was no news either, so I'm all set for this week for that.
All right, so moving on to our last episode for the week, and it's a doozy. Titans, Season 1, Episode 7, Asylum. On a tip from Dr. Adamson, Rachel went to a top-secret asylum looking for her mother. Gar, Dick, and Corey found Rachel, but ended up getting captured and experimented on by the asylum's doctors. Last-minute reveal, Dick watched his Robin suit burn and left his mask behind to join Corey and the others.
Oh god, this was a torture episode and a dream sequence episode. Ugh. That's a lot.
Yeah, they really piled it on.
And I watched this with a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old staying with me in my house. So I had to wait till they were asleep and then like turn this down way low and put on the captions and strain to hear it. So this was not the best watching scenario for me because I didn't want to scar the children. My nieces are staying with me. So
Yeah, and there was and they really poured on the no lighting in this episode.
Yes. For the record, when the good doctor slit his own throat, the closed caption said "skin squelching," in case you were wondering.
Ooh,
I know.
Ooh, oh man. All right. So yeah. Oh, jeez, that's intense.
Sorry.
So yeah, Rachel got to meet her mom. We got to meet Angela, who really doesn't want Rachel to meet her dad.
Is it wrong to say I don't trust her? She knew a lot about the facility and she was really helpful, but in a way that made me not trust her. Am I being too suspicious?
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
You know, I mean, this is. I mean, we had a similar situation in Flash, you know, although we only got the part where they found her and saved her. So I guess we'll find out next week, what the deal is. Now, all right, I'm just trying to figure out, do you want to talk about Dick, Corey, or Gar first?
Let's do Gar. Because it starts with him knocking with shave and a haircut, which is too pure, and it ends with me horrified and heartbroken for him. Oh, man.
Yeah. I think At Bauerfett put it best when he said, guessing Gar is no longer a vegan.
That made me so sad. Oh, Gar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, so he ended up having to attack someone to save Rachel. And when he transformed out and he was, you know, had the bloody chunks falling out of his mouth after he changed back out of the tiger, that was really upsetting.
It really was. When he was so adamant about not, I mean, that I understand he did it to protect his new family, and that's it's noble, but it was still really, really hard to see. I was hoping it was still a dream sequence, and I don't usually do. I'm usually like, are we done with the dream sequence yet? But I was like, oh, please be. No, that was real. Oh.
Yeah. Now, Corey, we did learn a little bit more about her, that she has a healing factor. That she heals very quickly. When they were doing the surgery, it seemed like they didn't even need to stitch her up. You know, and you know, that you know, even when her when her fire powers go away, that is still there. So, you know, I thought that was interesting. And after she blew up the asylum and walked out, I thought that strut as she was walking out of the asylum as it was burning in flames, I thought that was really cool.
I also really appreciated the exchange she had with Dick when they did rescue her, and Dick says, "You okay?" and she says, "Fuck no." Like, that was the most honest thing. I super enjoy her still. And also, you know what I'm gonna say? Rachel's boots are far worse than anything Corey has worn on this show. Yeah, I said it.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, that brings up. All right. Here's a tweet I should read from at Tanya Mel. You ready for this, Sarah?
Yes.
She breaks down the whole episode right here. So, Titans. I'm supposed to root for Rachel, the literal worst. They Ubered to a secret facility. The prized prisoners had zero security. Dick can magically eject drugs from his system at will. And the Robin suit was there, or it's a dumb metaphorical hallucination?
Yeah. If I may, this is not a tweet. This is actually a text that she sent me when she was watching. Let me get this straight. Titans this week is based on two idiotic teenagers who couldn't wait a literal hour. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry for airing our personal business, Tanya, but yeah. And what I loved was Dick sitting down and doing that research. That's such a Batman thing, right? I mean, that just felt like this is how he was taught. You do the research, you look at the schematics, you make a plan, and he was doing as he was instructed, and clearly it worked because they were able to get in without guns to their head, although that was a trap. Yeah. So, you know.
Well, I blame Dick for this because he should have brought Rachel and Gar into the room so they could plan together.
That's true.
I don't know why
That's
it was just
true.
him and Corey.
Split up. Okay, I can see that.
You know, unless they wanted to have someone have eyes on Dr. Adamson, although, you know, I guess after he gives them the location and had Rachel heal him, for some reason he didn't warrant any more security. I'm still confused as to how he got out of that safe house.
Yeah, there was some hand waving in this a little bit that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it was okay because I thought we had great character moments in here. I thought the showdown that Dick had with his younger self in that hallucination was really really profound. You can really see him trying to work out his demons in that moment. And I think he kind of got the sense that he has to leave the Robin persona behind.
I was going to ask, do you feel like he is going to be able to do that? Do you feel like that symbolic burning of the suit represents truly moving forward?
Yes, I think it does. I think now he knows that he can move forward. And I think we're going to see him start to take those steps. And also, that maybe he doesn't have to kill everybody, although the way he took out those guards, jeez. But yeah, and like this really sets up next episode is gonna be I think is gonna be a game changer, especially with the person that they introduced in the teaser.
Are we gonna talk about that?
Yes. Yeah, let's talk about it. Why not?
It sent my husband down a spiral of reading up on DC backstory because we were talking about what her past was. Well, it's this. Oh, maybe it's this. Oh, no, it was all of those things and also this. So I have the whole history that he read to me while we were watching.
Actually, you could fill us in on Deanna Troi because I didn't have time to do that because I just watched this episode about 20 minutes before we started recording.
So this is really fresh for you.
Yes. Yeah. I'll just say @BauerFed tweeted, "Yes, I so want to watch Deanna Troi's episode now. She should be the 5th member of the Titans permanently."
Well, and
so yeah, Deanna Troi.
There's connection with Wonder Woman and the Amazonians, and so the 1985 post-crisis Power Girl, descendant of the Atlantean sorcerer Arian, no longer exists. Power Girl first seen in 1976. She was Earth 2 equivalent, retcon in Crisis, Earth 2 post-crisis, reinstated in Infinite Crisis. So he went down a Power Girl rabbit hole with Deanna Troi. Okay. So that's kind of where and there was some talk about the Hyberian Age. It was a lot.
Okay, Power Girl is not the same as Wonder Girl.
And that is where some of our confusion lied. So I'm not going to be a good person to talk about it either.
Power Girl is the Earth 2 version of Supergirl.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
She's got the boob window.
Yeah.
That's
Kara Stevens. So Deanna Troi is the original Wonder Girl, who was never really a sidekick of Wonder Woman, just, also came from the Amazon and was a founding member of the Teen Titans in the 60s and 70s, and was a key member through all of Marv Wolfman's run. And she's no longer Wonder Girl. She's just Deanna Troi. Cassie Sandsmark is the current Wonder Girl. And but is an important member of the team. And I'm interested to see how they're going to introduce her. It does seem like she also has a backstory with Dick.
To be fair, I think most people would be fine having a backstory with Dick, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
But yeah, it was that Atlantean versus Amazonian Power versus Wonder Girl that was kind of, we ended up kind of going down the Google rabbit hole on both and got it all mixed up in our heads. And so there was a big talk about the progenitor of all the different lady superheroes. So
that's okay. That's okay.
That's what we did on Thanksgiving. Don't judge us.
Yeah. Also, now Rachel is on the run from this organization, and that, Adamson's gone. Like, there's no connection that they have now. So hopefully Angela can kind of fill them in on what exactly they're running from.
I am looking forward to meeting her. I hope it goes more like the Doom Patrol and less like Hawk and Dove, if that makes sense. in that I enjoyed the Doom Patrol and I didn't super enjoy Hawk and Dove. So.
All right. Well, we'll see. Was there any news for Titans?
No news. And then in moving into the news, we have very little. You want to crush this?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we have news for Krypton. In an interview on Den of Geek with Emmett J. Scanlon, who's playing Lobo, Scanlon says he always wanted to play the Joker, but also Wolverine, and playing Lobo is actually kind of a mashup of the two of them. He said the executive producer, executive producer Cam Welsh is a huge Lobo fan. So I assume if you're a huge fan of the comics, that means you're going to get a pretty comics accurate version. And then he turned me against him, Scanlon did, when he said that he only had 3 weeks to beast up to play him. And I have to say, if you use the phrase beast up, I'm done with you. I'm sorry. No.
Not a Marshawn Lynch fan?
Nah.
No.
I'm also curious what you can
Beast
do
mode.
in 3 weeks to beast up for any kind of, like, just, I guess, no carbs and lots of crunches. I don't know. Whatever. You do you, Emmett J. Scanlon.
What? It's facial hair. That's a big part of it, too. You can't forget.
3 weeks to beast up and beast out. Okay. So that's Krypton. Just a little reminder that is a show that we don't talk about much because there hasn't been much news, but it is coming back in 2019. Let's see.
Right.
Next show is Lucifer. And we had a photo on Twitter of the cast reading the season 4 finale script for the first time. And that read-through seemed to include Inbar Lavi, who is playing Eve. We reported on her casting this summer. And I just thought it was interesting that the actress who played Eve apparently was around for the finale read-through. I guess I kind of got it in my head that Eve was going to be a guest character one and done, but it either she became buddies with the actors and was just there for the read-through, or Eve is a bigger part of the show or comes back for the finale. But I thought that was interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, maybe she's involved in more than we think.
Yeah, that would be cool. As I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love that actress. So, okay. News moving on to Pennyworth.
Ooh. Pennyworth.
Paloma
music.
Faith is the actress playing Bet Sykes, and she describes Bet Sykes as horrific, sadistic, and abhorrent. And those were some noteworthy adjectives, I thought.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes me more or less excited about Pennyworth. Almost less, maybe? I don't know.
And you said she's going to be in all 10 episodes?
She is going to be in all 10 episodes, so I guess sadism, abhorrent sadism for 10 episodes. Where do I sign up?
All right. Well, it is British.
I think that means they microwave the water for tea. Like, that is abhorrent in England, is microwaving the water for tea. So you're right. We're working on a different scale. I'm sorry to my British friends. Sorry. All right. Last news of the week. Watchmen. We had a couple of teaser trailers that have hit social media, and all of them seem to focus on the police force with their faces covered with the yellow scarves on the lower halves of their faces. And one of the teasers is hiding in plain sight, which is all very interesting. Is it that a bad guy hides in plain sight in the guise of the cops? Do vigilantes hide in plain sight? Ed, what do you think?
I don't know. All I know is all of these cops walking around with the yellow scarves is starting to freak me out.
It's a visual, isn't it? I mean, it's a look.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Just I'm ready for that show.
Me too.
All right. That was all for the news, right?
That's it.
All right, that was quick. All right, so next up, our winners for the week. Sarah, you go first.
All right. Honestly, I took my cue from our buddy Bowerfett on Twitter this week. I gotta go with Mick Rory from Legends of Tomorrow. He had writer's block. He conquered it. He won. He shared his creative vision with his friends. That is incredibly hard to do. Some of the best writing advice I've ever gotten is if you can't beat fear, then do it scared. And you know what? He did. He did it scared, but he did it. He saved the world. He got to meet his creation in the flesh and meet his creation in the flesh, if you know what I'm saying. Mick Rory, winner of the week.
All right. So I went with the theme this week, and it was moms. Moms in hot water trying to be helpful. So on Supergirl, we had Eliza Danvers offer to help Nia with her supposed alleged narcolepsy. On Arrow, Felicity was doing everything to help William, both in the present and in the future. On Legends of Tomorrow, Cousin Patty was doing her best to wrangle up Chris and Tyson for Thanksgiving dinner. On The Flash, Cecile was getting her mojo back after having the baby. Black Lightning, Anaya gave birth with an assist with special thanks to Anissa. And on Titans, Rachel got to meet her mother, and Angela, for the first time.
That's a heck of a theme.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. This was a lot of fun.
Busy week
coming in. Yes. If I am tired, I am so sorry. Planning a wedding and all of the hectic craziness. I promise I will be more alert next week. But
I make no such promise, though.
All right, so that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!